How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Good Morning Let's Basketball. For those of you returning, welcome back. For any new viewers we may have, welcome to the podcast. My name's Kevin. Going to be having some good conversations today with Daniel and Victor. We've got some pretty interesting topics covered today. Starting off, we're going to be talking about March Madness. We're actually in the full swing of the Final Four, so that's going to be a lot of fun. As well as the new Brooklyn Nets Big Three are already playing more minutes together than the old Brooklyn Nets Big Three. It's kind of upsetting in some ways. And then we're going to be talking about how NBA players not being scared of LeBron. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Starting off, March Madness is coming to an end, unfortunately. It was a lot of fun to watch. And the Final Four is now going to start later this week. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that bracket up. But I believe Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, Miami, and who was that fourth team, bro? I cannot remember it.
San Diego State, did you say?
I said, okay, so it is, we got
Miami.
We got San Diego State versus Florida Atlantic, 5 versus a 9. And then we got Miami versus UConn. So the team I'm definitely rooting for to win this all, it's got to be the underdog, Florida Atlantic. They're a 9 seed. I had no idea how good this team was going to be when the March Madness first started, just because they had a record of 34-3, which was damn near the best record in college basketball. But they don't play they're not in the best conference, so that's why they were only ranked the 9th seed. Definitely the team I'm rooting for. It's definitely like a Cinderella story. Love an underdog. But if not, I would love to see them play Miami on the other side. I feel like that game would be a shootout. Miami's a lot of fun to watch, and they're also very good. Not going to lie, I don't really want to see UConn win it. That school is kind of mid. But, yeah, what do you guys think about this Final Four?
I mean, yeah, definitely I would like to see Miami in the final, or go farther, just because they beat IU. And that game, Miami was definitely in control for the majority of it, but towards the end, Kuchefino hit some good shots. Trace Jackson was starting to have his rhythm and stuff like that. So I guess it would be cool as IU fans to see Miami. So Gonzaga beat UConn, or UConn beat Gonzaga. Was that the last game?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, they beat them.
Yeah, they smacked them.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was honestly rooting for Gonzaga. I think I even said that a few podcasts ago. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really have no horse in this race. I don't really care who wins the Final Four. But if I had to choose a team, I'd say it's Miami. Yeah. Like you said, run and gun type of team. What are the other two?
We got Miami playing UConn.
Okay.
5 playing the 4. And then we have San Diego State playing FAU, Florida Atlantic University.
I guess FAU would be cool to see too, just because I saw an Instagram picture of what their court looks like, and it looks like a high school court. It almost looks, I think, even
they have a pretty small stadium.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's kind of like a little Cinderella story. A smaller team getting to the Final Four and possibly winning it. So yeah, my picks are going to be FAU and Miami, and then I'd want Miami to win.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this has been a really good March Madness. It's been crazy, a lot of upsets. I don't think anybody could have predicted the outcomes of the games this year. The games this past week were great, and I think everybody's watching March Madness. My grandma's watching March Madness. She doesn't even speak English, so I think everybody's watching March Madness. Kansas State, I was kind of rooting for them to go a little bit farther. They had a great team. I like that team with Marcus Noel and Johnson, and it was just a great run they had. And I really respect the coach on Kansas State. He's Jerome Tang. He went into the FAU's locker room after the game and told the Owls that they're the toughest team his guys have played all year, and he's rooting for them to win the championship. So just a great organization, great coaching staff all around team. I'm glad they went far and glad they showed off their skills. But I think I got FAU and Miami in the championship game. I think those teams are tough. I've been watching them both play. They both got a great team, good coaching, and it looks like they're just going to have a battle between each other in the last game, and I think FAU might win.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for FAU, man, especially since they got a region kid on their team, starting point guard, Janelle Davis. Went to Gary 21st Century High School. So if you're seeing this, which doubt it, rooting for you, brother. I remember actually senior year of high school, Gary 21st Century played Couts, and I went to that game with a couple of the guys on the basketball team.
Yeah.
And first off, that team that he was on was freaking insane,
Really?
bro. Everyone was good. Not one person sucked. Not one person was even average.
Yeah.
Everyone was freaking good. Like if any of those players, if the 13th man on that team came and played in my conference, they would have easily been the best player. That's how good this team was. And I remember that game, like it didn't even look like he was trying out there, bro.
Yeah.
He was literally going out there and it looked like he was like
having fun
in a layup line, pretty much.
Damn.
And like I checked the stats after the game and he had 40.
Jeez.
And I was like, damn.
So 40 in a high school game is crazy.
40 in any game.
40 in any game.
Especially like high school, just because like
no
one's really like that.
Yeah.
Especially just like a player of that caliber being like from our area.
Right.
And like me seeing him play, like I didn't really like see that like too amazing of hoopers. Like growing up and
how big is he? How tall?
He's about like an inch taller than me. He's like 6'4".
Was he like that when you guys were in high school together too?
Yeah.
He was? Damn.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I mean, was that whole team pretty big?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, that team was insane. I mean, just dunks, the way they played, lobs, man, that team was insane. But so was this Florida Atlantic team. It seems like everyone on this team could score and just shoot the hell out of the ball. And I was rooted for Kansas State, though. I'm not going to lie. Not necessarily against FAU. It's just Kansas State. They're a lot of fun to watch. Just the way they play together, especially Noel. I mean, he had that one game against UCLA, I believe, or I can't remember who it was against, but he had like 20 points and like 18 assists.
Yeah.
Now, I remember I was watching that game and 20 points, 18 assists. I mean, he damn near had something to do with every single basket of the game.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Amazing player. He hooped. It kind of sucks to see him go home. I think he was a senior too, so I don't think we'll ever see him again unless he makes it to the league one day or overseas. But yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch play, man. And especially like Keontae Johnson, I think he's going to be entering the draft after this year. And I've seen a few mock drafts and they have him going pretty well, like late first round. I've seen some even mid first round. So
you think he could get recruited, or you think you can go to the NBA? The FAU player that went to Gary?
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's been averaging 20 this tournament.
Damn.
And he's been getting like a lot of clutch buckets.
Yeah.
He looks like really comfortable out there when he's playing. Like he's not shy at all.
Yeah.
So
this is a little off topic, but I think we were like over the weekend we were talking about like Steph Curry and Damian Lillard. And we were at a restaurant in our hometown that serves probably the best fucking burger you've ever had in your life.
Shout out Fat Dan's.
But yeah, when we were out there and we were talking about just like how much fun Curry, because the game was Warriors versus Sixers.
Philly.
Yeah, they were playing Philly. And you always look at Curry when he's in game, and he's just sometimes so in flow, so in rhythm that it literally looks like he's playing a pickup game against a bunch of like college students, or not even college students, middle schoolers, damn near. But yeah, I guess would you say you saw a lot of the same thing in that one player from Gary of kind of just getting on the court and not having like a lot of the nerves that normal players have and just kind of being able to ball out?
I mean, not necessarily just because Curry like plays completely different. And you'll see those games where Curry has like 10 threes. He's just going out there and just basically throwing shit up.
Yeah.
And it somehow finds its way through the bottom of the net. Janelle Davis, he likes to get to the hoop a lot.
Okay.
He shoots threes. He shoots them pretty well. But
yeah.
It's different play style.
His game is like down low more.
Not necessarily. He's a point guard.
Oh,
so like he'll.
I haven't watched any of the FAU games, but
yeah, you're gonna have to this weekend.
Yeah, I know. I guess they're going to.
But no, the Final Four is going to be insane. I'm definitely excited for that.
Where's it being hosted?
It's in Houston this year.
Okay.
Houston 2023, and then next year, I have no idea. I'm not even gonna try to guess. But acting like I know.
Yeah.
But moving on from March Madness. It was rumored before Paul George got traded to Oklahoma City that he was going to join Cleveland to team up with LeBron. At the time that happened, when he got traded to OKC, I remember hearing about this and actually kind of wanting it to happen because at the time, I still am like a very big Paul George fan.
Yeah.
I think he's the smoothest player in the NBA. Just watching him out there, like way he moves. Paul George is tough. And can't remember who else was on Cleveland at the time, but was that the year D Wade when all them were there?
I think Kyrie was there, and
that's your Kyrie. So it was like around the time of them when they were playing like the Warriors, like the prime of that Cleveland team.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, speaking of Cleveland, for the first time since 1998, they were able to secure a playoff position, right?
Yeah, they secured a playoff spot this year.
Without LeBron. Without LeBron. That was like they've secured playoff positions before in the last 20 years or 2 decades, but they haven't been able to do it without LeBron. And I don't know. That team, we've been saying, I think, since the start of this podcast that team's pretty legit. Like that the Cavs have a pretty good team around them.
I think they'll definitely make some noise in the playoffs. They're still kind of young and they don't have like the deepest bench.
Yeah.
But they have a pretty damn good starting lineup.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch them play. Donovan Mitchell, he's been in the playoff many times. He's put on like many great performances. And so yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited to see them.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up that when that trade was in 2017 when he got traded to OKC. So that roster had Derrick Rose.
So it was the year with like D Wade and all them.
I don't see D Wade on the roster.
Do you mean it was the year where they filtered? They
Yeah.
filtered to like a crap ton of like players, didn't they? They had D Wade for a little bit. They had Derrick Rose for a little
Like
bit.
D Rose, D Wade, like Isaiah Thomas,
Yeah.
Crowder, they all got traded at the trade deadline for
Okay.
like I don't even know what.
For
They still somehow
shit in the bucket.
I believe they made the finals that year with Chetty Osman being like the second option. That's a tongue twister right there.
Yeah.
But
Eddie Osmond being the second option.
no, yeah, that team was garbage. I can't believe we were forced to watch that finals. But like, no, Paul George going to that Cleveland team, I think would have been sick. I don't think they would have won, especially beating like KD and all them on the Warriors. But it would have made it a hell of a lot more fun to watch, I think.
Yeah.
You got a player out there that probably knows when you got like a timeout left or knows to score the game.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Paul George just as a player, like that's having another all-star, right? That's doing. Was that the year that they had KD by then? That was.
Yeah, they
damn.
by then.
So I mean, yeah, like even for the Cavaliers to go, to the finals that year, if they were to have
didn't.
Paul George,
I don't think they went to the finals that year.
I'm pretty sure that like LeBron didn't miss a finals when he was with Cleveland. I don't think LeBron missed the finals when he was with Cleveland, other than like when he was injured.
Okay, no, they did.
Yeah.
What?
Bro,
Okay.
LeBron has been in every like.
No. I'm tripping because I thought that D Rose roster with Dwayne Wade didn't make it to the finals. I thought Dwayne Wade and
Well, that team didn't even exist in February of that season. They all got traded. D Rose went to Minnesota.
oh yeah,
D Wade went
that's-
back to Miami.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Crowder. Who cares?
And people still question the GOAT's legitimacy. That dude had nothing and took him to the finals.
He also played against nothing. But
Yeah, it's true. Well, you can say the same thing right now again about like the East. I feel like
No, the East is tough.
the
The best team in the NBA is in the East. The Bucks. They have the best record. Don't sit here and tell me not the best team in the league. I'll smack you.
no, like that. Okay, I really genuinely
You said the Clippers were going to make a finals run like 2 weeks ago, and that shit pissed me off.
and I still do. Are they in the play-in at it even?
I think they're like I think they're in the top 6, but
Okay.
who
So
cares?
yeah, no, I mean, I still got faith. Speaking of which, because we were on the subject of Paul George, I think it's hilarious how he did the like 360 dunk that he's been like trying to do for a minute, and then 2 days later he was injured. You saw that?
Was it?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that dunking game. That was crazy, but
I remember thinking to myself too when I saw that dunk, I was like, he's gonna be injured in a few days. Because there's just like certain players in the NBA. There's just certain players in the NBA that like are prone to injury, and like you see them do something cool, and then immediately after they're on a fucking hospital gurney. One of those players is Anthony Davis. I'll continually fuel the hate towards Anthony Davis on that team and wherever he goes next. Please, Anthony Davis, do not come to Chicago. That's me begging you not to.
so you said you knew that Paul George was going to get injured when he went up for that dunk?
No, not like
That is what you said.
I like that was a thought that came up in my head. Why?
Because this is how you're acting like right now. This is how you are, bro. Yes.
Yeah, the whole fucking. What did he say?
That was
that's my favorite phrase.
That's when he was talking about Kobe.
Yeah,
He was like, I said before the game started that Kobe was going to get 60, and then he got 60. I was like, oh, he's got to get 81.
he's got to get 81. Yeah. No, but can we actually? We'll see if anybody else agrees with me on this. Maybe it's not. You know how like in college football they say that what are the 2 divisions or what are the 4 divisions or whatever?
Like 2 main?
Yeah.
Like the SEC is tough.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a college football guy.
Right. Okay. But you know how like they say like the West Coast teams are so severely better than the East Coast teams?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'm
that's
not
the thing.
disagreeing. I just don't know what they say.
Yeah. So like
Probably don't.
that's a thing that I've been hearing is that like the West Coast teams are usually the powerhouse teams that are able to like steamroll through everyone. I think maybe it's not there. It's not the West Coast teams. It's something else. But there's a division in college football that just like is better. It's got Alabama. It's got what's it called? Clemson. It's got like all of the major big schools that get to the national championship every year. My point is that to me, I wouldn't say the NBA is exactly like that, but personally, I don't think that the competition in the East is as hard as it is in the West, and I think that kind of attributes to I don't know. I don't think Boston's the best team in the NBA right now. Well, we'll see. The finals will happen, and we'll see what the best team is.
You're dumb for thinking that the Clippers are gonna still make a finals run because Paul George is out. They've been like, I don't know. They're not doing as great as like everybody thought they would with the addition of Westbrook. So I don't know where you're thinking that they're gonna get a finals out of that.
I don't know. The top 3 records in the NBA belongs to Eastern Conference teams.
It's a good point.
It is a good point. It's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, no, for sure. Like, I'm not discrediting the East, the teams in the East at all. They're still great players, still top level players. I just think that this year, for example, a Western Conference team is going to win the finals. That's my personal opinion.
Could be true.
Yeah.
Not ruling out Giannis though.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
But-
either. Also, like, I'm glad that we're doing this podcast just so like Victor can be held to his words in a few months when Russell Westbrook and Kawhi Leonard go 40 for 40 in a playoff game against whoever the hell, and they're in the finals now. That's my prediction. So,
Yeah, your prediction's wrong. You
So
want to
God
try
would put some
again?
money on it, man.
What'd you say, Vic?
I say you want to try and make a new prediction.
I mean, no, I don't think that the Clippers are going to win the West, but mark my words, I said it, they'll make a playoff run, and they will. I genuinely think that they will. They'll surprise you.
I'm ready to be surprised. I will wait. I'll wait a lifetime. I don't know. I would like to see the Clippers win. Like Kawhi is like one of my favorite players ever.
Yeah.
Dominated for
No,
a really long time.
Genuinely, Kawhi is one of the players that I feel like I can like say like I really do like. Like as a player, as an athlete, like he just checks all the boxes.
Oh yeah, man. I would say dynasty killer, but the Warriors won last year. If the Warriors didn't win, then he would have been a dynasty killer. Ruined the Heat. Ruined that Warriors team with KD on there. I don't want to say ruined just because KD like probably was going to leave after that year, and he did.
Yeah.
Then he left again. Now he's in Phoenix. But I'm not hating. I'm a big KD fan, like I've said many times. But got to see his skinny ass on the court someday again. Miss seeing him play.
Speaking of KD, I don't like KD. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to leave it at that. Because before the podcast, I was told that my opinion on KD was stupid. So,
Still is. Speaking of KD, though, you know, they had that big 3 in Brooklyn, KD, Kyrie, and Harden. They only played 16 games together, but they did go 13-3 in those 16 games. So, like, okay, did the big 3 fail in simple terms? Yeah, it did. They didn't win shit. They barely even played together.
Yeah.
But when they did play together, they were 13-3. And, like, how could they not? It's freaking Kyrie, Harden, and KD on a team. Like, you can't fuck that up
yeah.
when you got those 3 guys on one team. But there's a new big 3 in Brooklyn. Well, I'm not going to call it a big 3 because it's just quite simply, it literally isn't.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Spencer Dinwiddie. They've already played more minutes than that old Brooklyn big 3.
Okay.
Now, that's kind of crazy to think about because that team was together, them 3, for like a year and a half, a year.
Wow.
And they only played 16 full games. And these guys have been playing together for a month, maybe a month and some change.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy to see. But Mikal Bridges does have the longest streak of consistent games played. I don't want to butcher the number. I'm going to look it up, but I believe it's like 380-some games straight without missing a game.
It just got broke, though, when he got traded to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember he missed out a game, but he has the longest streak by like A mile. I'm gonna look it up just to
What would
not
be
spit false
interesting too is
information.
to look up how many injuries he's had in that time span, because that would almost prove what you guys were talking about in the last few podcasts about how the more activity you're doing, the more you're like engaged and the more you're playing, the less likely you are to be hurt. So that would be a good thing to look up is how
I mean,
often has he been hurt?
if he had that streak, I don't think he got hurt at all. You know what I'm saying?
That's yeah, that's a really good point. Obviously if he was playing every game for 380 games, like he fucking did. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. That's funny.
Kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. No,
I'm not finding it, but I do believe it was like 380 some games. It was the longest current streak. The longest streak all time is by AC Green. He played 1,192 games straight.
damn.
That's
Bro,
like
One holy how
that's
many?
like that's like never missing a game in your career and playing that many fucking games.
And playing for like 20 years. Maybe
I don't
way
know. I don't
longer.
know how long he played, but 1,192 consecutive games.
1,982. That's almost 2,000 total games. That's 18 shy of 2,000 games. That's nuts.
That is wild. But I remember that they brought up like this fact on the TV the other day when I was watching the Warriors game. Mikal Bridges currently has the longest active streak in the NBA out of active players. It was like 380, I think, 6 games.
Okay.
The next person that's behind them is Kevon Looney on the Warriors, and he's at like 130.
Wow.
So pretty far behind.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He could 100% break it, but Mikal Bridges playing that many games straight, like he's still a young player. I don't think he's missed a game in his NBA career besides when the streak ended for when he got traded to Brooklyn. But I don't know.
Do you agree with him playing that much? Do you think like
I mean, he's a great player.
yeah.
I mean, he's been now that he's on a team where it's really anyone's team now. They're kind of just like looking for that guy. He's been playing really well. I mean, he's a great defender, he's a great shooter. I didn't know how good he was at like ISO ball and scoring, but it's definitely he can do it. Like I've like watched the games and he's out there and he's balling out.
Right.
And he's healthy, 100%. Can't deny that.
I'm curious. So, okay, so two things. Number one, I wanted to say when it comes to the whole like big three in Brooklyn failure, I think there's two things that you have to separate, right? Failure as a team and failure as like them being able to play together. In other words, I guess I said that fucking horribly, but what I'm trying to get at is that obviously they played very well together when they were on the court. But when I said, because I remember like months ago, and again, the LeBron thing, yes, I'm capping, but I'm not capping. A few months ago, I remember saying that like, because I'm a KD hater, and I didn't think that Kyrie was gonna work out anywhere. I still don't think that he's gonna work out in Dallas. Um, but I remember saying that that big three wasn't going to work. And I wasn't so much meaning that like on the court, because I knew that they would play well together on the court. I meant all of the external stuff. And we saw that with, Kyrie's situation. I think Harden had his own thing. And, it was a mess from the get-go. And I felt like that wasn't going to work out. But one thing that I did want to ask both you and Victor was, do you think that attributes heavily to like a big three's failure is a coach trying to spread out the talent throughout the game? Because that's what I would assume, he was trying to do, which Steve Nash, you get what I mean? Like Steve Nash was basically trying to spread out how much time he could have KD on the court alone, how long he could have KD and Kyrie on the court alone without Harden. And then when Harden came in as a ringer, he was able to bring that, elevate that team. But what do you guys think about that decision to do that?
Yeah, I do think that it ultimately there was a lot of things that didn't work with that team. I think coaching was one of them. Harden even came out and said that like he fucking hated that Nash's like substitutions and his rotations for the game. So it did definitely have like a little bit of impact. And overall, Steve Nash was kind of a terrible coach. They fired him, and I just think there was a little bit more to the Brooklyn Nets, like as the organization as a whole as well. That's why the team didn't work. Like I think that maybe like the owners had something to do with it as well, because it was kind of weird when Kyrie left. He was in and then KD got traded. They were interviewing Kyrie, and Kyrie was like, "Yeah, I'm glad KD got out of there." So like it just goes to show you that there might have been a little bit more to the story. and there was a lot of drama there. So we'll never know. But I, just overall, I don't think it was all on that big three.
feel like the coaching definitely like played like one of the biggest factors.
Yeah.
And just like watching the Brooklyn Nets games, like you don't even have to know basketball just to know that the sole game plan was, all right, this possession KD's going to shoot, this possession is going to be Kyrie. That's literally what it looked like out there. On top of that, they didn't really have the greatest like supporting cast around them. Now, they did have 3 great NBA players, yeah, but you also still need like a great cast around you. And that I kind of compare like the situation of the Brooklyn Nets to like the situation in Oklahoma City. Yeah, they had KD. Yeah, they had Westbrook. But after that, it was Andre Roberson, who's a shooting guard who literally can't shoot. If you've seen him shoot, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's like if a kangaroo tried shooting a basketball, it's something what the fuck it looks like. But like, yeah, they just didn't have the greatest supporting cast around them. I mean, Nick Claxton was young at the time. He's pretty good now.
Yeah, he's really
but good. He put in a lot of work. But at the time, he wasn't anything. Like he was young.
Man,
he wasn't on the team. Joe Harris was injured. I feel like I haven't seen him play ball in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like I saw him play the other night, and that's like when me think I was like, God, I forgot this guy was in the NBA.
Yeah. OKC has always, I feel like, had like good talent. I don't know. Even now, like they've got what's the kid's name? I forget. Yeah, Shai.
Yeah.
Shai.
What's it called? Yeah, and then they have all those draft picks coming up too. Chet, the rookie this year who got hurt in the Pro-Am game. It's bozo. But yeah, no, the Thunder, they're going to be a problem for a while, I think. They're a pretty good team already right now, and they're still like really young.
Yeah.
And they have all those draft picks coming in. That the GM, I don't know who the GM is for the Thunder, but
I'm thinking in a few years you'll see some big names go to OKC, especially if they
could be a possibility.
Yeah, especially like you said, if they're building up draft picks, if they've already got good established players that are young and healthy. I would think if you're the GM, you're looking at who you could possibly acquire in the next few years.
Yeah.
Some big names in the NBA.
Yeah, no, that could be true. Honestly, if I were them, I wouldn't even try to like sign any big name. Just keep this like team close knit and tight. I mean, we've seen it like the super team era is kind of like dying out. It's fading out. Like a lot of the better teams in the NBA right now are teams that have been together for like years.
Yeah.
Like Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Like that whole team is pretty much drafted.
Yeah.
And it took them a couple years to get there, but like, you will get there.
Yeah.
And
4 years of the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, Jaylen Brown and Tatum, they're only 24, 25 years old, and they've already made it to the finals.
Yeah.
That's how the Thunder were.
The
Bucks too. Giannis and Middleton were there since like 2013, 2014.
Yep.
Nuggets, that whole team, they acquired some signings, but they drafted MPJ, who, he shoots the ball hella, but like he's good. He's good to have out there. And then signing Aaron Gordon definitely helped them out a lot. The Warriors, obviously, that whole team was drafted pretty much.
Yeah.
And like look at the success they had, dynasty, pretty much.
Sixers have had a few, like a lot of changes for sure, but they've kept a good amount of their like same roster together, I would assume.
They've switched their teams out a lot throughout the past 3 years. I mean, just so many different like lineups and changes.
Yeah.
They've had Tobias Harris for a while. Embiid obviously was drafted.
That's what I was thinking of. Like Tobias Harris and Embiid have been playing together for a minute now.
Yeah, Tobias Harris has been there for a minute.
I thought Seth Curry getting out of that team was a bad decision. I thought he played really well with them.
I did too. That when they made that trade for Harden, they got rid of a lot of key role players for them, especially Seth Curry and Andre Drummond. So I think that's like a little bit of why they haven't had the like success that Philly fans want to see.
Yeah. They also got rid of their best defender too in Thibault. Well, I don't know if he's a better on-ball defender than Joel Embiid, obviously. But like Thibault's like one of the better defenders in the league. He can shoot. That's a guy that can add value to really any team out there. If you can play defense and shoot, like you'll play anywhere pretty much.
Who was that? Who said that? That like if you go out and I think it was Damian Lillard. He said like if you go out and you become like all team defender, I think of the year, or you like if you win the defensive title or something like that, you will get playing minutes and like you'll get the big contracts. And like
you can guard. If you can't play defense playing somebody, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how true that is with NBA, but like that's like what I was always told growing up, like playing ball. Like if you can't play D, like you're not going to see the floor.
That makes sense.
No, but it does. You got to be able to guard people.
It's a 50-50 game all the way up until the end.
Much. But yeah. Wish that big three could have made some more noise in the past. But goddamn, I just lost my train of thought.
Next up.
Word. All right, well, moving on that note. A lot of NBA players during the 90s were horrified to play against Michael Jordan. And you saw this. I forgot a good idea of it from the documentary, that Jordan documentary on Netflix. Sick, by the way. But we've seen a lot of things recently with NBA players saying that no one is feared of playing against LeBron, which to me is kind of horseshit. I'm gonna be honest. Like, you see what that man looked like in Miami.
Yeah.
And I remember I was watching a podcast like a little while ago, and Kevin Garnett was on it. I can't remember whose podcast it was, but Kevin Garnett was saying like, he's like, oh, we weren't scared of LeBron. Like, we tore up LeBron. Big fucking cap, first of all. Like, okay, you beat him in a playoff series once when he was on Cleveland, when you had that big three. I think it was the year they won the finals in '08. I remember they beat LeBron. I think that was his last season in Cleveland, or he played one more. But, I mean, LeBron's, I think, still averaged 30 or 40 in that final series.
Yeah.
His next best player was like Eric Snow. You know who that is? Or Mo Williams?
Mo Williams, yeah, but not the first one.
Yeah, exactly. I think Mo Williams was probably the second best player on that team.
Eric Snow blew up, though.
Eric Snow, yeah, I guess. But he did something.
They were calling him the Avalanche or something right now because of how big he got.
Jesus.
Oh, he got like fat?
Yeah, bro.
I did not. Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that. It's funny. I'm definitely going to look that up after this.
That is funny.
But no, like, NBA players saying that like no one is scared of playing LeBron. Okay, I agree that you shouldn't be like scared to play anyone. End of the day, you're all human. Like, it's like a confidence thing.
Yeah.
But like, I think they're like lying a little bit when they're like, ah, shit, like, we got to play LeBron tonight. Especially like the prime LeBron.
Yeah.
The LeBron.
So I think when Michael Jordan won those 6 championships and everyone was genuinely scared of him for good reason. He was an elite level basketball player, and he was the hardest working basketball player you probably have ever seen outside of a few guys. He was also growing in fame during a period of time where I feel like social media, not even social media, actually, that's way off, but like television and media was covering it more, right? Games were more televised. There's a lot more people being engaged. Advertisements were coming out. My point is that during that time, people were looking at Michael Jordan like he was a god, right? It was something special for an NBA player to win 6 championships and go and three-peat twice. That was insane. Then Kobe comes along, and if you guys have ever seen that, interview where he says like, oh, I walked into the locker room and they were like, oh yeah, you don't look Mike in the face, you don't look Mike in the eyes because he'll see fear, and you don't. What did they call him again?
Ooh.
Michael Jordan. They like do you know what story I'm talking about? What was it? Black Jesus?
I don't know. He had a lot of nicknames. I don't know the story you're talking about though.
Yeah, well, they said like, oh, you never look Black Jesus in the face, or you never look Black Jesus in the eyes. And no, that wasn't it. I'm stupid. It was actually Kobe said like, oh, like, I'm a guard Mike. And they're like, oh, you're not supposed to call him Mike. You're supposed to call him Black Jesus. And he was like, I'm not calling him Black Jesus. I'm calling him Mike. Like, he's just a normal person.
I actually have seen that, yeah.
Right. So
I can't remember like what like interview that was, but I do remember him saying that.
Yeah. So, Kobe wasn't scared of Mike because he was trying to establish himself as the next like elite level player that would be remembered in history, right? Now you go on to LeBron, and he's the third version of that. That's struggling to try to keep up with Kobe and Michael Jordan. And what you have is a bunch of younger players because LeBron has been playing since the fucking Stone Ages, that you have all these young players that are like, oh yeah, like I could beat LeBron. I want to be that next guy. I want to be the next LeBron. I could be better than LeBron. So that's why I think a lot of guys will say, oh, we're not scared of LeBron. If you would have put Mike or LeBron back in Kobe's era or back in Michael Jordan's era, he would have the same level of fear that those two guys had around them too. That's just my personal opinion.
But it didn't really start from like players now. It started from older players coming out and saying it. And I think it's funny that they're acting like LeBron's like Daniel playing out there, like that nobody feared him or something.
No, literally.
Like, wait. What? Did you just slip that in there?
Yeah.
You're fucking stupid. That was funny. I didn't even know. Huh?
I said that's kind of funny. I actually didn't want to bring this up.
Oh.
It's about you, Victor.
No,
go ahead and finish your point because this is really off topic and we can save it. Go ahead and finish what you were going to say.
All right, I was going to say, like, it honestly started off with like Mario Chalmers coming out and saying that, and this is his former teammate, when he
Right.
won those championships on the Heat. He was like, damn. He was like, nobody fears LeBron. Nobody's like, damn, I got to go play against Bron tonight. Nobody said that. I don't know why, because I've seen people be scared when they're actually line up against him, but they're not scared thinking about that matchup. And then Gilbert Arenas kind of added to it, and he was like, did anyone fear Magic? No. Did anyone fear Stockton or Malone? No. No one feared Tim Duncan. Jordan was feared. AI was feared. Kobe was feared. LeBron is an all-around player. I'm not afraid of a guy who's going to give me 29, 9, and 9. I'm afraid of a man who's going to go for 60. I'm not if I'm not careful. So like there's just like a lot of these like old people or like old like athletes are coming out and saying this. And then Draymond was defending LeBron, saying, I personally know people that were scared of LeBron James. I know a bunch of people who were and are in fact terrified of LeBron James. I've seen it at times. I've had teammates that were terrified of LeBron. And then Kendrick Perkins also added, he was like, I was scared as hell to going into the game 7 against LeBron James. This was the only time that I actually prayed that something happened to him at practice. I was like, let us get breaking news that LeBron has tore his ACL or something. So I definitely think there has been like both sides to it. But then again, if you think about it, LeBron's such a nice guy though. So like all around, I can see why players are coming out and saying that, oh, I like LeBron's not feared. Like he looks like a nice guy. Like if you come up to him, he'll say what up and stuff. But I feel like if you were to go to Jordan back in the day and like try to shake his hand, he'd be like, fuck you, you know?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm kind of glad you brought that up because I remember watching, I'm gonna bring up that Jordan documentary again. I believe it was Will Perdue was talking, that was his former teammate on the Bulls, and he was talking about like how like they were even scared of him. Like they were like scared of like Jordan in practice because like he got on everybody. I remember my favorite clip from that documentary is like when he like whistled at one of the players in practice and he did like this to him. He was like like that's intimidating as shit. When you got that big
Oh yeah, I remember that clip. Yeah.
yeah, you just got that big melon that Jordan had staring at you, looking in the eyes, doing this.
Chewing whatever the hell he was always chewing.
Yeah.
Just
That's horrifying. That's Black Jesus.
that was Black
I would
Jesus,
shit myself too. I would have been scared.
I would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
When I see LeBron's goofy ass out there playing with chalky, I wouldn't be scared either.
Wait.
See, I don't think these players are wrong, bro. Yeah. Shit. LeBron who?
Le Goofy.
Goofy. Yeah. But back to what Victor said about basically like Daniel being out there in the NBA. This is something I wanted to bring up that I was told this right when Daniel actually moved down here to Bloomington. We are getting shots up one day at the field house, and Daniel was like, yo, I was getting Victor buckets back at home like when we would play. Oh. Man, ain't nobody call you. True story. I'm not lying. This is just what I was told. I don't know.
Bro, he didn't give buckets at all. If anything,
at all. Edna.
Bro,
I give you some buckets.
Hey, I'm just saying what I was told. I don't know if it's true or not. I wasn't there.
All I remember is that there was one particular time right before I left for Bloom, that I shot I think 3 threes over you, like right in your mouth, and like your hand was right over me, and I damn near fell. So I just was like I give Victor some buckets sometimes, which I think holds a little bit of water.
Again, I do think like your game improved hella. Like not gonna lie, like you got a lot better. But like you can't say you like beat me though. Like I think that if we were to count all time records, like it's probably like 15-1 one-on-ones.
15-1, yeah, Edna. All right, 15-1. All right, but next time, eventually on this podcast, we're gonna like have an episode where we're gonna do it at RDS or something, like a private court, and yeah, we'll do a whole pod where us three go 1-for-1, King of the Hill style.
King of the court.
King of the
Hill. 21.
But
or 21, yeah.
21 would be cool. No, we could definitely make a YouTube video, post a video like that on our YouTube one day. Little King of the Court or 21.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start training. I'm gonna make this motherfucker look sorry.
Yeah. What's funny is that day me and Daniel were working on left-handed layups.
Yeah. No.
Kev, teach me how to do a left-handed layup. I had him do the mic and drill. How you catch the ball into the hoop, lay it up, go to the other side and do that. Starting from the bottom.
Yeah, Kevin.
This motherfucker play was kind of trifling. I'm not gonna lie.
I was just right under the hoop, just looking granny shotting it the whole time.
Form shooting.
Yeah, form shooting.
Form shooting from JV days. Remember that shit?
Yeah, bro.
form shooting. Have to sit there with the hand behind your back, ball in the palms.
Not gonna lie, that shit helped me out.
No, I really did. It's actually a great drill. I still do it before
Yeah.
like I hoop sometimes and before like intramural games. But yeah, it was. I mean, not for half an hour like we did it. That's probably why I went 0-22. Goddamn it, makes perfect sense.
We're gonna practice the form, coach. We just lost our last game by 40. Tough break.
Get on the line.
Get on the line.
Miss those days.
Yeah.
But yeah, basketball conditioning was no joke. That shit was.
I just hate it. I don't know if anybody else shares this. Maybe this is like only for athletes that are not basketball players, but anytime that I like ran on a basketball court, that hardwood, it was really only at like the courts, but like there was like certain hardwood floors that would just like make my head vibrate after a few hours of playing. And I'd like go home and my head would fucking hurt. It could have been the shoes too.
Kind of what you mean. I feel that way at RDS. For those of you, I'm assuming how many of y'all know what RDS is, but basically it's a very small basketball court with these little cubes as the floor, and it's like styrofoam, and it's shitty and it sucks. The floor moves when you blow on it too hard or you look at it the wrong way. And every time I'm done playing there, like my shins, my feet, my head, I'm just in pain, man. It sucks.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I think we've had 2 injuries there, right? Maybe 3.
We've had one.
One? I thought it was 2
at RDS.
Well, Marian hurt himself too.
Oh yeah, Marian got hurt. I got hurt.
And whenever we go, somebody ends up like sitting out the last few games because they like hurt themselves. So that's on us for choosing such a crappy place to play. But
it's like the only place still that.
It's the only,
like,
well, dude, it's the only place that we could play 24 hours, damn near. You know.
True.
Yeah. If you're ever trying to hoop with your boys and you're trying to work around everyone's schedule, it's impossible. Like you need somewhere that's like open late at night, and that's that's what's cool about
that's it. Yeah. I'm kind of a little shitty that they bumped up those rates on us.
Yeah.
All the business we gave them for like a long ass time. I've been doing there for a minute. But got to make your money, especially during these tough times. Got to keep the lights on somehow.
I really thought I really thought basketball courts would be not subject to inflation, but whatever.
Different topic for a different podcast.
Yeah, different.
Which might be coming soon. We don't know yet.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
Stay tuned.
Still figuring out this microphone shit.
Yeah, we spent what 45 minutes. Kevin jokingly before the podcast goes, all right, like we'll do everything. He's like, go ahead and get set up. I know it's going to take 30 minutes, and I kind of laughed because I really thought that it
actually didn't take 30 minutes. It took about an hour.
Yeah.
Not blaming you because I was no help. I was just sitting there like watching TikToks because I don't know how to do this shit. Like this all looks very foreign to me.
Yeah, but it's not easy. It's annoying. So
yeah, but no, I think King of the Quarter of 21 is definitely something that you guys will see one day.
Definitely.
Just so I can show y'all that.
Put your predictions down below. Who's gonna win? I'm gonna start training now.
Hey, you can keep training all you want. I'll sit on my ass, won't touch a basketball, and I'll still whoop your ass.
You think you'll come play?
Yeah.
I thought you said you're gonna hang the shoes up.
Oh yeah,
coming out of retirement, man.
I'm retiring.
We'll see if I feel good, man. I just keep getting injured, bro.
He's got that Lonzo injury.
Shit,
that lingering.
Won't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I injured the same ankle twice. So like if you fuck up something once, it's not the same. But you do it twice, man. You'll
notice a difference.
Yeah.
The only worst thing that ever happened to me in basketball, thankfully, was just rolling it. Rolled it pretty bad, but like I was able to like attend practice next day. I was still in a bit of pain, but I couldn't imagine like breaking your ankle. That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
That's got to be like one of the worst pains in the world.
Yeah. And that's got to like you really don't. I feel like you wouldn't feel the same ever. Like I'd always feel a little bit of discomfort.
Mentally, I don't think I'd ever be the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know for a fact that I wouldn't.
Dude.
I think too much when I play.
Because it's like we've all rolled our ankle playing basketball, but like how much that hurt. Imagine it just not that knock on wood and everything, but
yeah,
man,
it's like a finger jam times 10.
Yeah, pretty much. You ever hyperextended anything?
No, I don't think so.
Hyperextensions are painful. They're not as bad as I think like a break, but they're worse than a sprain. And like a hyperextension, if you get it like mid-game, it's usually from like a lot of running and then you like spread your legs too much or you're extremely dehydrated, which I always am. Yeah, it hurts like hell.
But yeah.
What was the other topic?
I think that was it.
That was it. Huh?
Yeah, no, we covered everything today. Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in for another week of Good Morning Let's Basketball. We apologize this episode coming out a little bit later. We had some stuff going on this weekend. And by stuff, I mean these two bozos visiting me. Well, actually, this one right here, Daniel already lives here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got caught up. Decided to take the little weekend off. But episodes will be back. Should be back this Sunday, unless everything goes according to plan. This episode might be up tomorrow, which is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Victor will get on that. But as he does the best. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in again, and we'll see y'all next week.
Tonight.